Hi guys, what's up? This is Emily and welcome back to my channel. I know that you are always very curious to know more about my job, and the truth is I'd also like very much to be able to understand how important influencers in general are to you and our impact on your choices. I decided to call this video a reverse Q&A, and I'll be here watching your answers to several questions. 182 followers sent their videos, 74.2% of them were females, 60.4% of them were in the age group of 18 to 23 years old. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram and here on YouTube and activate the notification bell, and let's get started. To understand what the term influencer means to each one of you, I asked if you agree with the definition in the Calvin's dictionary, which is that an influencer is someone who is able to persuade a lot of other people to do, buy, or use the same things they do. Here is one of the most frequent answers.
I agree with that statement. However, I think that influencers are much more than that. They are not just people who are over 10k or who influence the purchasing decision of other individuals. They are the people who give us enough confidence to not only influence the physical consumption of products, but also in terms of personal values and ideas.
Thank you very much, Francisco. I think this pretty much sums up your feedback. The difficulty of responding with 100% certainty of what defines an influencer means that it is also difficult for consumers to perceive how much, when, and in what way they are truly influenced. So I also asked you guys about your relationship with influencers.
Hi, so most people I know follow for sure more than 5 influencers, and I have friends who follow even more than 50. Spend a lot of time watching your videos and your posts, and the truth is, I think people follow you because they like the good recommendations you make. I think that sometimes we have them in mind, and then we do our own evaluation on the same topics. Most days I spend 15 minutes to an hour watching content from influencers, but there are days where I spend more than 2 hours. I know. And I think all the time that we spend watching this content is a good example of the importance that we give them and how much they can impact our purchasing decisions. And I mean, if I like your recommendations, then I will spend more time watching your videos and your content, and this will have a bigger impact on me for sure. Bye!
Thank you, Elise. I also would like to know if you discover a lot of products with influencers.
Hi Emily, I would say most people discover a lot of products through influencers. They receive many products, often new to the market, and these have increasing reach in their social networks. The greater the reach, more products they receive, and the greater their diversity. So consumers often end up being exposed to brands and products we weren't even aware of.
It seems to me that what happens is that we influence the purchasing process of consumers by showing you products that you'd never considered before. But I was also debating on how you feel about trying a new product or brand if your favorite influencer positively review it.
Hi Emily! First of all, I would like to say that I really like your videos, so please keep going. And I think people follow you because you represent our ideals. You are the idealization of what we would like to be, and because you speak and show our favorite products. We believe you, we trust that you are telling the truth on when you share your opinions, and a lot of times we buy the products that you positive review in order to achieve what you look and represent for us. Kiss!
Thank you so much, Jessica. This was a common answer. However, and I think this is sometimes involuntary. Followers often show more interest on what I show and do in my daily life. Oh, I also noticed that you are less likely to buy something if I negatively review it. Interesting, great to hear it. Though brands really have data takes. If their products gets a negative review by an influencer, the damage can be great. I was also wondering if you look for reviews of influencers before purchasing a product or a service.
I do not very actively tend to look for reviews of influencers before purchasing a product or a service. This is probably due to many reasons, like sometimes there are other sources that I might trust more. Traditional media recommendations are still very present in my daily life, and I sometimes feel they are more reliable than digital influencers. However, there are a lot of people who see influencers as a more trustable source than traditional media.
Thank you. I also found out that most of you follows my advice on restaurants, clothes, and beauty products the most. The next question is related to paid advertisements.
I think that I talk for a lot of people when I say that consumers are less likely to trust a recommendation if they know that the influencer in question is getting paid to talk about the product or service. I have inclusively stopped following an influencer because they post too much sponsored content. It feels like influencers are not always saying the truth because they are being paid to positively review a product or brand. When they are not being paid, or when they already talked positively about the product before the sponsorship, they are more genuine. We don't like being lied to, and we know how partnerships work.
I think that from this I got that influencers don't really change people's minds completely, but we confirm when you are already considering on buying something. And that the values I stand for are very important to my followers. So what do you think when I act in a way that is not according to your values?
The truth is that people tend to trust more the influencers that they relate to and who they like in any way. More and more, you need to deliver what the customer expects in not only the products you promote, but also their personal values too. Just like brands, influencers should be careful with the content they choose to post and be aware of possible issues that might come from certain actions they have.
I also know that brands started to use social media influencer strategies a lot. And I think when they do this, it is important that their values are aligned with the values of the influencer and consequently with their followers. These strategies should always be careful, talked through, and brands and even us should be aware of the risks and think about every step of the way so that no one is negatively affected. So to wrap this up, the purchasing decision process is often unconscious, as is that of influence. So there's a great part of influencing that you don't even realize. Since we are beings who unconsciously copy what we have seen and admire, even if we don't verbalize it, the influence these people have on you and even me is way bigger than we are able to admit. Thank you guys. See you in the next video.